again, one of the things the investors, in addition to wanting to be a part of an amazing company, at the end of the day, again, they want to cash out of this and get a financial return. And so there are what we call liquidation preferences. And what I mean by that is when the company's sold, there's an order of distribution or priority with how these proceeds get divvied out to the owners.
Okay.
And so if it makes sense, the investors, even though the founder sort of put the blood, sweat, and tears into developing the company, the investors, as part of coming in and writing their check into the company, will say, we want to get paid out or have the right to be paid out sort of in priority to you. So, for example, if the company doesn't yield the type of return we think, we want to be able to get our money back before the founders get anything. Or if the company has a great exit, we'll sort of change over into the same kind of stock the founders have and just share with our piece of the pie. So that's another big one is making sure that your investors coming to you with reasonable expectations around what that liquidation stack looks like. And it sort of going full circle back to a couple minutes ago, when the first round's happening, getting a reasonable liquidation preference in place is super important, because if you start out with a 2x, which I mean by that, you get double your money back.
Okay.
If you start out with something like that, you can almost assure yourself that in future rounds, you're going to be looking at the same. No one's going to say, okay, just kidding. Let's go back to just give you a 1x.
Right.
So that's important in the beginning.
Okay. So valuation, liquidation preference. What else?
And so they're probably two of the larger ones on the economic side.
Sure.
And then the more fulsome set of negotiations really go around what we call protective or control rights. So by that, I mean that investors, when they're writing checks into companies, they may come in and own 25% of the company. And so if you think about normal voting, right, majority rules, that's not super great for these folks who just wrote millions of dollars worth of checks. And so the way that those investors sort of protect their investment is by having special rights and preferences that let them vote on or block things they otherwise wouldn't be able to just by owning their 25%.